Hello, everybody. This is Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yeehaw! Guns and everything. And I am here on the Pokemon Unite talk show with two amazing, beautiful gentlemen. I'm very, very fortunate to be here with, of course, Krashy. Hi, Krashy.
Hello.
And the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, the reason this all exists, Cozy Gamer. Hi, Cozy.
What's going on, guys? It's good to be here with both of you guys on yet another episode of the Pokemon Unite talk show. The puts, I think it's just gonna be Pokemon Unite talk. I like puts; they both work, but we'll see. It's good to have you guys. You guys ready to talk? Jake, do you want to break down the subjects for us?
Yeah, so on Krashy's video, we talked about what would make Pokemon Unite better, the most needed buffs and nerfs. On my video here, we're going to talk about Zapdos. He still seems to be in the game, and perfect Pokemon strategies in lane, and maybe some other fun stuff with that too. And then on Cozy's channel, we're going to talk about the best Blastoise builds, the alliteration makes it work, and the Pokemon Unite pick and ban draft, where Krashy is going to criticize our choices.
I am.
Go head to head.
Yes.
Yeah, I am. Definitely look over at Cozy's for that one, because that's going to be ruthless.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be a good one.
I'm excited.
Let's hop into it. We can talk a little bit about Zapdos. Zapdos is one of the most controversial things inside of Pokemon Unite. And I'll start out and then I'll throw it to you guys a little bit. I've said this since the start of the game. I've never had as big of a problem with Zapdos as everyone else did. The same thing with Gengar. I just realized it was something that newer players were very frustrated to deal with. And it feels like you lose the game because you lost Zapdos. And at times I do think that's absolutely true. But there are a lot of things that caused you to lose the game before that one moment right there. But let's get into it. I want to hear your opinions. Cozy, what do you think about the state of Zapdos in the game right now?
Yeah, so I think I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that it's the easy thing to blame because it's the last thing on the match, right? So like it's kind of like when you used to play Overwatch, or even in this game, you go and instantly you're like, we lost because of that. X player had 0 kills and 0 points. It's like, no, you got steamrolled the entire match. And so I think it's the easy thing to blame. I think that Zapdos in the early game is a little early, beginner's great, kind of in the earlier play is more of a deal. Later on, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it's not as big of an issue as you get kind of more skilled players, for lack of a better term. I think that there's some things that they could change with it. If they were going to change it, I don't want it to be massive because I like the chance that you can win any match, no matter how bad your team was, right? Like if you have a terrible team, you can get the cheeky steal. Do they do something like you can only get double points on the main base tower? I mean, there's a couple things that they maybe could tweak, but I think there's bigger issues at hand. But Zapdos, I think that they could touch up a couple of things. I'm curious to hear y'all's thoughts on it.
Yeah, I want to hear from Krashy here in one sec too, but just to kind of piggyback on that thought, when you play in later ranks, as you were saying early on, it's absolutely the game. Not enough people know what's happening. But when you play in later ranks, I have matches where a team gets a Zapdos, but we're able to knock 3 of them out. We go and counter score. So it's not really the end of the game up in higher ranked play. But of course, I want to hear what Krashy has to say about it, because Krashy knows not only what's wrong, but how to fix it.
Thanks. So I've talked about this ad nauseum. I mean, I talk about it every single day, every single stream I do, and I'm going to play a little bit of an elitist kind of position. I simply do think that this is an early life cycle of the game issue. It's a matter of get good, and I don't throw that around like often, but it really is. It's a matter of get good. And
you message me that every day on Discord out of nowhere.
Oh man, oh my bad, I didn't know that was gonna get leaked. No, but really, it's if you play a near perfect game and you lose Zapdos, then that's what you did. You played a near perfect game. And in a 10-minute game, there's got to be a win condition. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I think it's perfectly fine. I personally think that like auto dunking, instant dunking is just disgusting. It's so rude and just kind of boring. So I definitely think there's an opportunity to maybe make it like faster dunking and like double speed dunking, 75% increased speed on dunking. So that way it's like much faster with a little bit of counterplay. play. I've seen all kinds of ideas, so I'm not going to run through, and some of the ones that I've seen are really good. I've seen this idea I liked a lot, was instead of having Zapdos spawn at the 2-minute mark where it's perfectly parallel to the double points, you have it spawn at the 3-minute mark. So there's like a little bit of more leeway time where you have to really think about, well, when do we put our time into that? And let's say the Zapdos fight did happen earlier, then there's more counter time at the end. But I agree with Jake. I've had games where, especially in 5-mans, like when I'm doing stacks and we're really trying, I've had games where we lose Zapdos, and what do you see in normal games when you're playing solo queue? Your teammates chase after them. Don't chase them. Like, go counter score. Go, but another thing I see is like people will counter score, but they'll split top and bottom. No, don't do that either.
Yep,
go counter score as 5, death ball it into their base, and then you can literally lose. They can score all 500 points, and if you were winning before that Zapdos, you go counter score, win the team fight, you go score 500 points. Guess what? You're still winning. Like, there's opportunity there. Zapdos is a big part of the game. It's a massive part of the game. It is the game in the end game, and it's a matter of mastering the game. And yeah, I like what it's going for. I do think that it could be a bit improved, but ultimately I have very, very little issues with Zapdos.
Yeah, so I do a 5-man stack, and I tip a good amount. I've got some good guys I play with, and that's what we're always trying to get better on, is our game with Zapdos. And like, how do we like, don't chase them if you lose. Like, we can actually, like, we can do, defend, because defending top and bottom tower, let's say if those are open, like with the instant dunk, they're like, good luck. You either one shot them before they get there, or it's over. Counterplay, get over and try to dunk in return, because usually they're all offensive once Zapdos is down, right? That's where they're going. So I would agree. Jake, I want you to make a video on how to get better at Zapdos, and you just say, yeehaw, what's up? Jake, get good. That's it. And then in the video, it'd be great.
Yeah, I should do that. I'll have Krashy dress up as me and wear a hat, and I'll post on my Twitter. 30 seconds long, and I think that is a really good idea. I would love to see something else replace Zapdos at some point, especially because, very similar to Gengar, people have this misconception that it is like the thing ruining their game. So I do think it would be cool to every season have sort of a different objective in the middle. I don't play a ton of quick match. I only just do it, for the little goal. Maybe if I want to try out someone I don't play often. But what they do with like Avalon and stuff, there are some cool options in there, freezing your goals for a little while, or giving you, a pretty crazy shield or something. I would love to see some different options for that end game fight in later seasons as well.
I mean, yeah,
I've even seen like a cool idea that they could do is like, obviously this is just one of the 3 birds, right? Like Articuno and Moltres exist out there. I could even see something where each game could have a random bird, but the caveat to that is that I wouldn't want it to be random when it spawns. It would be like when the game starts, you would have to know ahead of time. But there could be like, okay, Zapdos gives you instant dunks. Moltres gives you
extra attack or something.
Damage, yeah, like a damage burn on your auto attacks, kind of like some of the characters have already. Articuno locks down the goals, or freezes your goals and can't be scored for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, it literally hard defends your goals. Like, there could be something there that they could do to spice up the game in a lightly RNG way, without it being like, okay, it's the last 2 minutes, what are we gonna get? If you could jump into a game and it pops up a banner and it's like, Articuno is approaching, you know what I mean? Like, then you would know which one you're gonna have, and then you could plan accordingly. That could be kind of cool.
Maybe that's another role for the jungle. Maybe you have like an egg where it will be, and it's like an ice egg or like a fire egg, and like whenever the jungle's out there, they're like, it's an ice egg. Everybody, it's an Articuno this match or whatever. That I think it'd be kind of cool. That would certainly change up like every single game, and you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I would be shocked. Of course, this game would need to have legs, but I personally think it does have legs, especially as, when it comes out on mobile. But I would be shocked if we don't see the gameplay in each season at least tweaked slightly. And of course, you see this game in 6 months, and we're talking about a completely different final couple moments.
Yeah,
like I just can't believe Moltres is so overpowered. Like, I don't understand how they left that in the game.
Yeah, save this Reddit post for 6 months from now when we're complaining about Moltres being overpowered. Yeah, I think that we live in like a very now like world, right? Like, I want everything perfect now. And again, I said this, I think on Krashy's the one that we did. I think that for a month and a half in, I think they're doing a good job. I think that they're, I don't think anyone expected this game to be as big as it is at the moment. In fact, when it was released, I remember like not even released, when it was talked about, it was kind of like a Pokemon MOBA. So I don't even know if they knew. It's like that Among Us effect. Among Us got huge and they weren't prepared. Like, you know, give it time. I think they need to act quickly. I think that is important, but it has legs. I think it's got some like Arnold Schwarzenegger legs too. I think it's got some bigger legs than you think they're. Sprague. I think it's got some big legs there, bud.
Does he notoriously have large legs? Is that what he's known for?
I was trying to think.
I mean, I know he's a bodybuilder.
Who has big quads? Who has big quads?
Leg day.
Tell me someone who has quads. I have no. Yeah, Krashy, you have big quads over there. We'll go with you.
Yeah. It's all me.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on Zapdos before we talk about some monsters in lane and maybe out of lane?
No, I think
let's do it.
I think the 3 birds is a cool idea for sure. Let's go to perfect Pokemon synergies. Spraggles.
Perfect Pokemon synergies. So obviously we've all had the feeling when we look across the lane and they've got, you know, a Gardevoir and I don't know, a Blissey, and you go, I think we're gonna have a good time in this lane. This doesn't seem too tough. But we also look across and we see lanes where we just go, ooh, all right, this is going to be tough. We're fighting for every wild Pokemon. They're stunning us like crazy. I mean, we're hovering on it right now, so I'll just start off the conversation with someone who can pair with just about anyone is Alolan Ninetales, and when I see sort of a classic Alolan Ninetales Snorlax lane, I just think this is going to be a fight. Alolan Ninetales spikes so early. Snorlax is good at every single moment of the game. So I find that to be not a super surprising pick for a perfect Pokemon synergy, but one of the most solid lanes you can run into are these two, Alolan and Snorlax.
Yeah, you know, so I did a in-depth guide on Ninetales, and one of the pieces on it was Pokemon synergy, and I was like trying to pair all the perfect Pokemon she goes with, and I'm like, there's a lot. I mean, like Wigglytuff and Ninetales, every time I see that,
I was gonna say,
I can't stand it. You go there and immediately, if I get it like 3 matches in a row, I'm like, I need a break. Like to get Sing and Dazzling Gleam at you at level 4. I'm like, and I'm just trying my best.
Passive freeze, that lane is, when I see Wigglytuff Ninetales, I'm like immediately tilted. Like I'm instantly frustrated because it's like you can't play risky against that lane at all. No. Like not at all. You will cease to exist, and for darn sure if you're not already wearing a focus band, because if you don't have a focus band,
done,
you gotta get out of there.
Core fish, you have no chance at top. Or bot. Yeah,
it is an insanely stressful lane to play against.
So
passive on Wiggly, that charm, it happens in the most inopportune moments, and then you're walking forward towards Wiggly, you're frozen or stunned again by Dazzling Gleam. You're so right. I mean, this is a monstrous lane to deal with. I swear Alolan Ninetales pairs with just about anyone. But Alolan and Wiggly is such a bully in that lane.
Level 4 Sing. I mean, it's level 4 Sing is crazy.
Sing and Dazzling together.
Like I know the kind of like general MOBA thing to do, especially if you know you have like your support wearing EXP share or anything, is like funnel the EXP toward the Ninetales, but you need her to get Sing. Like whatever you got to do to get Wiggly to get that level 4 evolution, do it because it's worth it. Sing into bees is crazy.
It's so
absolutely, and both of them turn on at level 4. It's 2 Pokemon that are immediately insane
power
at level 4.
Huge. They're very quick, and that's to me that's the lane that I think is super strong, and that's what we're talking about, right? Like big synergy Pokemon, and I would like one of you to just like a full video would be cool to see like just the best synergies within the game, I think. But with that too, like there's one other Pokemon, and he's taming down a bit because of Blastoise, to be honest, but I feel like too, anytime I see Lucario in lane, I'm just like, well, this is the game I'm gonna play today. Like this is the match here. Who do you think pairs best with? I mean, Eldegoss is typically
I gotta take this one because if you haven't played against it, if you haven't played it and you haven't played against it, you have to try it. Blastoise Lucario is toxic. That lane is so. I mean, think about it. They both have some form
of, right?
They both do like mobility. The same thing. Like they both have a knockback. They both have a dash. Blastoise's dash, or like Wartortle's dash, whenever he gets it, is a stun. So you can stun into them, push them backward. Lucario can start beating them up, knock them up with his boosted attack, push them backwards. It's like when you're in that lane, you just feel like a pinball and you're just like rolling around and they're just doing all this damage to you. That lane is frustrating. And then the craziest thing about it is both of those Pokemon are good with Score Shield. So then not only are they pushing you, but they're fighting you on your goal. And then you're starting, okay, cool, we can fight on the goal, no problem. But then they're healing from scoring and then they're knocking you back. And it's just like, dude, what do I do?
Yeah,
it's crazy. That lane is crazy.
With the passive on Lucario with the Score Shields too. It's like, yeah, and even Crystal in there, like you've got mobility. It's like the combination of mobility and the combination of the shields. I mean, it's a lot to go through. Lucario, I'm glad that you guys feel the same, and I think y'all in the comments hopefully feel the same too. And I want to hear like from other people too, like what two Pokemon do you go against that you just it's like you're like this is gonna be a long game, right? What are some other synergies, maybe not as common?
I've got a sleeper one I can definitely bring up. I did a video about it a while back, and it's the thing is it's off meta, so it's not gonna change your games. But if you like these two Pokemon, if you want to have fun with a friend in lane, play Mime and Pikachu. That lane is so strong. If you have the wall, you have the confusion, you have the electro web, you time the electro web on a target, you put the wall behind him, you hit him into the wall with confusion, you hit him with electro ball, that character is dead. Like, it is so much damage, and they work together. They have that good hard CC. The web sets up the wall so you don't have to like, oh darn, I missed it. Like, it's there for you. That lane is really good.
That's such a fun lane because obviously you don't get to see either of those Pokemon that much in higher ranked play because they're just, as we often have to talk about, there are better choices in the meta than both Pikachu and Mr. Mime, even though I've seen some brutal mimes.
Some good mimes out there.
But Pikachu is so good early, and if you're around Pikachu with enough time to get Electro Ball hit, sometimes it only takes once, but definitely twice. It's a KO every single time. I mean, it's a sure hit that does more damage the lower health. It's like Lucario, just not as good, but you get to be far away. It's absolutely brutal, and a good mime that can keep someone there. Yeah, that sounds like an awesome lane for sure.
I feel like every time an Electro Ball comes out to me, it's like in a movie when you're like walking away from the explosion. Like, I know it's coming. There's no denying it. It's like going at slow-mo, and I'm like, I'm about to die. Like, I know I'm about to die. I do like mime with a couple of Pokemon. I think Pokemon that do burst fast, even like, and this is a little bit weird, but even like Charizard, like even they just having someone blocked on a wall and you can just completely keep melting them. I think Mime's got a lot of potential with a lot of Pokemon. We just don't see him a ton in high play. Not to say there's not some really great ones out there.
Yeah, something Krashy and I talked about a little while back was that if the right Pokemon are released, all of a sudden Mr. Mime becomes a huge choice inside 100%. The meta. He's just kind of waiting for that perfect situation. Or let's say that Pikachu gets a really strong buff. All of a sudden, you might see this lane comp a ton.
Yeah.
And I'm personally of the mind that I think Mr. Mime is like pretty underrated. Like, the character's fine. They scale really well. They're a damage dealing, like, all-rounder support, really. That's just how I kind of view the character. And so if Pikachu ever gets a buff, or if there ever becomes like a Mime meta, I could see some really crazy lanes with Mime for sure. It's one of those characters that, like, I'm not gonna lie, this might even be like pro tip right here. If you were a Mime main, you would probably bring so much value to your teams in ranked, because one, I feel like inherently people don't like supporting, so you're already covering a great role. And then two, like I said, I do think that Mime is kind of sleeper, so I think that like picking him is just good for most team fights and for most teams anyways. So yeah, like, mime it up out there. I think it's worth it.
I feel like there's some characters in this game that like this game's not a traditional MOBA where like you are one trick, that is it. I mean, some people are, but like you're able to expand a little bit off one trick. But I feel like with like Mime, and I would even put Venusaur in this category, that you get rewarded for just playing the heck out of that character. Like, more than almost any other characters, because the preciseness, like, just guard swap and confusion's great, like, for the damage, but like I've seen mimes that know how to place walls that I'm like, what, you read my mind. Like, I think that those get rewarded. Do you guys think that that's a fair statement, that playing those two, specifically Mime, is a big deal?
Yeah, it's funny because I was actually going to say that mine Venusaur is actually pretty good too. Because if you're doing Sludge Bomb, like when you get Sludge Bomb early, it's kind of the same thing, just like I would say a little less bursty. If like the mime can set up a wall, you can put the Sludge Bomb like in the middle of the wall, and they have to like sludge their way around the wall. And I'm sure if for mime players, or maybe y'all have experienced this too, when you have both your walls up and you put a wall, you stun them into it, and then you see the direction they're walking, and you're just like, nope. You put another wall. It's like you can angle it, and they're just like trapped in this little prism, and yeah, it can get really fun.
Yeah. One of the coolest things about playing a character like Mr. Mime is not enough people play them. It has a high skill ceiling. So if you become very good with Mr. Mime, people don't know how to deal with it because they don't run in often enough, and you really surprise your team. So yeah, same with Venusaur a little bit. Venusaur got that nice buff a little while back, and now it's kind of becoming more and more useful. I think Venusaur around those dread fights, once it has Solar Beam, it is just bursting the entire enemy team because they're kind of only in like 1 or 2 lanes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You're that dread, so you're getting a ton of damage off with Venus. So yeah, they're both
going ahead and sit in that bush. Go on ahead and do it.
I think low key, Venusaur and Wigglytuff are a fun combo because you can sing and then you solar beam from afar, and it's like they can't move and they just get bursted. Like there's some potential there for sure. Could
I bring this up for perfect Pokemon synergy? I love a lane. I love to play Crustle. Like before Blastoise came out, I was playing, this Shell Smash Stealth Rock a ton and just having so much fun with it. When I'm Crustle, I love being with someone like a Cramorant or something like that. I feel like we're really mean in lane. But if you guys were a Crustle, who would you want as your lane partner in that top lane?
Crustle. I've played a good amount of Crustle too. I would feel like, it's someone that, okay, obviously getting Forest Crustle is like the important factor. So it's like you don't, in that case, like Ninetales is great and all, but you want to hit Forest Crustle. I would say early Crustle Pikachu can be nasty, like pretty quickly. Let me think on that. Do you have immediate Krashy?
I mean, I think a safe pick could be something like Crustle Lucario, just because you're going to be like doing Crustle things while Lucario's doing Lucario things. You probably both have Score Shield on, so you're being like ultimate toxic in that lane. Like, but at the same time, I think something, again, to pick a really safe pick, you could go Crustle Wigglytuff. Same exact thing. You're just like running at their face a lot of the time, and could be really frustrating. Yeah.
I want to see Crustle. By the way, I'm always like Crustle. I don't know. It's one of the 5, but I think Crustle Blastoise I want to see. I know they're both defenders. I know it's like, wait, hold on, but Blastoise has a role identity crisis at the moment, I think. So I want to see kind of what they would look like together, just with that much mobility and that much chase and that much damage at once. And dude, if you get like an X Scissor and a Rapid Spin, I don't know. It could be kind of nasty.
It's interesting you say that, because Crustle I think also has a role identity issue right now. Well, he's just so unique. If you don't run a Score Shield and don't end up shell smashing around the entire map all game and scoring at least 200 points, I don't know what kind of Crustle you are right now. Crustle is just
he's one of the best speedsters in the game, like
without question. Seriously, I feel like speedsters probably need to operate a lot more like Crustle operates right now.
Yes, just very quick, very like solo gameplay almost. It's like the true identity of like playing by yourself. Like Crustle, if you're having trouble, especially like in like vet kind of area, like if you're losing those games, like just put Crustle on your back and just straight up like point. That's not a great. Just point dunk all the time. I mean,
I legitimately told some of my viewers, I was like, I think that if like you can carry games with Crustle, at least to a certain degree. Like you have to find the balance of being the like, I'm gonna backdoor and split push everything kind of play style, because at some point they're gonna need you. It's better, you can optimize it. But Crustle can actually like carry games. I had a Crustle on my team. It wasn't anybody I was played with. 450 something points scored in that game. It was like, and I remember feeling like, oh man, I wish he would fight with us more. But because I knew he wasn't, we were just fighting less. And then it's like we were just winning the game because the enemy team wanted to dance these objectives with us, and we just wouldn't fight them. Like, and so Crustle's just speeding around the map, literally speeding around the map like crazy, just dunking all the goals, man. It's wild.
So the one, like, whether last or if you guys want to keep talking, but I want to just get y'all's thoughts on Blissey, because Blissey, obviously like Blissey wasn't Blastoise, so like it was just kind of like we were sitting here waiting. But like Blissey with either a late gamer or like, I feel like Blissey with anyone that just has strong, like if you pocket a Greninja or you pocket a Cinderace with Blissey, it's like good luck going against that. Who do you think Blissey pairs best with in lane?
Well, Blissey, I mean, the thing about Blissey is they really become useful once they get helping hands. So they're kind of the best early in lane, but by the time you're at Dreadnought, they really help your team crush that first Dreadnought fight. So when I see a Blissey in lane, I would want it to be with one of those laning monsters like a Lucario. I like having someone who needs healing a lot. Like Lucario makes some plays where you go, I got to keep this person alive, but if I do, they're going to be the best. So I think Blissey with someone like Lucario is an amazing lane. And then once everyone starts to rotate, you've got helping hand, and all of a sudden you're making your Greninja crazy. You're letting your Lucario position perfectly. So it really, really becomes amazing right around Dread.
Yeah, one lane I've actually played a decent amount of ever since I kind of started pushing the envelope a little bit, and when people started to realize it's pretty decent, is Blissey and Zeraora. I think the Blissey Zeraora lane goes really, really nicely together. Zeraora is like the lane equivalent of Lucario, but for the speedster role. He has a lot of stats really early on, so when you get like a couple melees in, you almost always win that trade. And then when you have Blissey there, like she's got her early like slap, or I think it's called pound or whatever it's called. She's got the early pound that like also brings some good damage to the table. Like not only can that lane secure some good farm early, but then when she comes online with the heals and with the helping hand, and you have the Zeraora that comes online, you know, a little bit later on because you are going to be laning, but when you get that discharge, that lane is actually pretty good. Like early on, it holds its own. It can definitely farm, and then they both scale pretty darn well. So I definitely think that that's a lane that Blissey can kind of thrive in.
Yeah, you know, it's like for me, it's like I almost like you were saying, Jake. I think that having a Blissey that would needs to just get to the Dreadnought fight. So like I don't know if I like you could be with anyone, I think, really in lane, but then I feel like for me a lot is Blissey. I love playing it, and then I go just soft boil crazy on the jungle that comes out, and if it's Greninja, I'm just like pocketing it. I'm like, all right, do your thing, like carry us home, you know, through that first Dreadnought fight, and it's like surviving that. But I like the Zeraora, Krashy. I have not yet tried that comp, I'll be honest, man.
It's pretty good, yeah.
I'd like to mention just like an honorable mention here, because he doesn't get enough play anymore. He got one of the most confusing nerfs of all time, but Slowbro is very good in lane. Getting Surf at level 4 is legit. He just unfortunately now outshined by 3 other defenders. So I don't know how often you'd see him, but Surf at level 4 is so good for that Wincombe fight.
Yeah, very fair point. I feel like Blastoise, man, just really, man, like he just feels like Slowbro on steroids. Like I don't know. But we'll talk about that more, I'm sure, on the best Blastoise builds here in a bit on over on my channel. But yeah, I like Slowbro. I think that he does synergize well. Any other last synergy guys to throw together?
No. I mean, Cramorant Snorlax is always good. Cramorant Wiggly. You could have, I mean, you could put Cramorant with almost anybody just to throw our boy Cramorant some love.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the comments. I'm looking forward to seeing what people's favorite combos are, and like if there's any cheeky ones out there that we're not even thinking of here on the show right now. So be sure to comment down below, and I'm sure we'll all go check those out and see kind of the favorite synergies and lanes.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for having me on this cozy. Thank you for everyone for watching this. Krashy, thank you for always being the king. This has been great. So awesome. Goodbye, everybody. I love you very much, and I will see you all next time. Please watch the other 2 videos. Goodbye.
Bye.
Peace out.